everyone, my name is Ruchi Sharma, the Assistant Professor at Biyani Group of Colleges, and on behalf of GuruKP.com today I am here discussing on the topic strategy implementation. Hi everyone, we have in the earlier classes we have discussed on the topic different type of strategies, corporate level strategies, functional level strategies, business level strategies. Now all the strategies, when all of the strategies are made already, then we are supposed to implement those strategies. Implementation means when you apply whatever strategies you have made to your business on which you are working, you need to implement all the strategies which your organization, your analyst have already made. Fine. So as definition says, it is strategy implementation may be said to be consist of securing resources, organizing these resources and directing the resources of these resources within the outside the organization. Like all the strategies which we have made should be implemented inside the organization and as well as the outside the organization. Why? Because your organization consists of two environments, internal environment as well as the external environment. The strategies, the policies, rules, regulation, everything should be implemented on the internally and as well as the externally to overcome the threats or to achieve the opportunities from the market. Fine. So this is something where you implement your strategies. Okay, so now first when we have discussed about the implementation, what is implementation, now we need to discuss about the nature or the characteristic or the features of the strategy implementation. Guys, implementing a strategy is also an art, because why an art? Because many of we have n number of companies, but all this and each and every organization, each and every company make their different strategies, implement them, but few of them are only one who get successful in them. So we can say that strategy implementation is an art in the way you implement, in the way you form. Fine. So number one, implementation is action oriented. Why action oriented? Because when you do some action, you will get the reaction same as well. Fine, because the way you are implementing your strategy, the way you will get the reaction from your customer or the people you are serving. Fine, your action needs some reaction. If the customer is reacting positively on the action which you have made by implementing your strategy, that means you have gone successful in implementing your different strategies for a particular market. Okay, so the next point is require leadership. Why require leadership? Because if your leader is confident enough on your strategies made by him, then he will be confidently applying all those strategies. He will confidently be implementing those strategies to the market for the customers, because if he is confident enough, then only he will be able to convince his customer. Fine. Then the number 3 is employee involvement. Why employee involvement? Because if the employee is happy with what strategies you have made, if your employee is not involving in the work happening into the organization, then you won't be able to, then no leader is able to work with his organization, because employee is a kind of a resource which is working for an organization. If the employee is positively working, then only your organization can work hard or work well. Fine. The next point is varied context. Why varied context? Because it is a certain kind of a different context. You vary in different levels, you vary in different parts, you vary in different businesses. Different business implement their strategies in very different ways. Fine. So you need to work accordingly what kind of business you are having and what kind of strategies you are implementing to your product. The next one is challenging management job. Yes, the strategy implementation is of course a challenging job, because for implementing the strategies you need to take the challenge to convince your customer, because if your customer is convinced, then only you will be able to exist into the market, otherwise you will be vanished out of the market. Okay. So after we discussed about what is strategy implementation, will be discussing the different barriers of strategy implementation, because when you are implementing anything to your organization, there are several barriers which comes in between of your working. The number one is time horizon. Time horizon is something, guys, where what term of organization type you are working with. Like if your organization is working for a short period of time or the long period of time, if you are working for a short dimension of time, at that point of time you may in terms of your employees, you may help them with the incentives and all those things in the monetary terms. Like when your organization is working with a small period of time, small dimension work, at that time the profits and revenues are calculated on the basis of the your quantitative basis you calculate, but in the long term phrase you calculate it on the qualitative terms. Fine. In the next point we have risk consideration. Risk consideration is something when you implement any strategy, at that point of time you have to consider a risk as well. Fine. What strategy you are implementing on what kind of business. When you implement it, you must know that this is the business and you are implementing this strategy. These are the risk factors which might come in future with your business. Fine. Next one is basis of individual rewards. Basis of individual rewards means when you are working with your organization, when you are working with these strategies, when you are implementing these strategies, when you along with it, you should know that how to reward the individuals with your organizations, by giving them incentives, by giving them rewards, by giving them prizes, by giving them leaves and all those things. So for the greed of those all things, for the greed of all those incentives, your people work for you and implement the strategy in a much better way. They create the strategy in much better way and ultimately they work for them betterly. Fine. The next is corporate and SBUs. SBUs are something which are strategic business units, which are small business units. When a company is working as on a corporate level, so they have the different business units. Fine. A big organization which is the corporate level, and along with it, it has some different business units, separate business. Some is working with steel, some is working with iron, some are working with food, beverages. They have different subunits. Like of our Hindustan Unilever, it has different sub business units. So they work with different. So different business units have to be working with the different different strategies. So different strategies working in different business units have to be implemented in different way. Fine. Your different businesses need to get their implementation of strategies in the different ways. So you need to work accordingly. What business needs what kind of strategy. Fine. The last one is the vision barrier, where you see your organization in next 5 years or the next 10 years, coming 10 years. You need to work on it. You need to work on the strategies accordingly, where you want to watch your organization, where you vision your organization to be after 5 years or after working on such projects. Okay, so this is entirely the major description about what is the strategic implementation. So by winding up the topic, I'll say thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel.